Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining me, Jeanette.
Pleasure.
And you're the author of Get That Course Online.
I am. There it
Ah,
ta-da, as if by magic.
strategically placed.
Absolutely.
Right. So let's dive in to the interview. So, I, I mean, I know a bit about your background
Mhm.
um, because I've heard you've said that you were in like corporate for 20 years.
20 years, yes.
20 years. I can't believe it, to be honest. Can't believe
Thanks.
it. So what did you do before in the corporate world? What was the
Well, I started life, well, it all begins with university, really. I wasn't entirely sure that I wanted to go to university and then decided that I would go.
Hmm.
And the course that I got on was a business studies 4 year with a year placement. And the reason I chose business studies was because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And it felt too much like being pigeonholed. But during the course of doing that, I came across sort of some proper instruction around marketing and decided that that would be my focus. So shortly after graduating, I also did the CIM marketing diploma, post grad diploma, and set about trying to find work in the marketing sector. And the only thing that I knew for sure at that point was that I definitely didn't want to work in London, which was for many, many very boring reasons. So I ended up working mainly in the marketing arena and also working for a variety of organisations. So my first proper job, if you like, was with a tourist board. I then moved to an IT company. That was a bit short-lived because I was recruited to replace the owner of the company who was retiring, who was acting as marketing manager and had essentially handed the company down to his son, who was the MD, and was way more interested in swanning around in his Mercedes than he was in actually doing anything with any of the leads that I got for him and his team. So I left not long after joining, less than a year, and went to work for a marketing comms agency. So sort of got the agency experience on my CV.
Mm,
Then they moved everything up to London, so I took redundancy. And ended up working for the RNLI, and got the job as, I think at the time it was marketing information manager, something like that. Anyway, spent 15 years and a bit at the RNLI, and worked my way up to the senior leadership team, and ended up being head of insight and performance. That role no longer exists. I took redundancy again as part of, I think that was the third round of restructures, something like that. So huge, huge amount of experience in terms of leadership planning, management of people, and taking people through a change process and through redundancy procedures and all that kind of thing. And yeah, I would say probably 13 and a half of my 15 years at the RNLI were absolutely stonking, and it was great. I never thought I'd set up my own business. But the last couple of years, I started investigating a few different bits and pieces and actually ended up training in NLP, which for some people is a sort of, spit word, or set of words. And for other people, it's best thing since sliced bread. I'm kind of more centrist with it. It was very exciting. It drew together an awful lot of things that I'd already been kind of thinking about, gave me a framework to think about those things, in particular, the importance of choice. I was very lucky insofar as all my training was conducted with the NLP Academy, who are very closely associated with John Grinder, who is one of the founders of NLP. So I did all my training from practitioner through to becoming an NLP trainer. And part of that was helping people understand how they might set up their own business. And up until this point, I never thought that I would do that. I didn't think it was something that I was cut out for. I didn't think that I would have the will to do everything that was necessary, because you have to do all your own accounts and your own marketing. Well, the marketing bit I can do, but everything else was just like, that sounds a bit boring, or something that I would certainly put off quite frequently. But yeah, that kind of ignited something. I don't know what. So when the opportunity for redundancy was there, I thought, well, it's now or never. Let's give it a go. But true to fashion, didn't really have an idea of what it was that I wanted to do. I assumed that I would end up working with third sector because that was the bulk of my experience. But it didn't really excite me, didn't give me that sort of fire and passion to do that. That was more sort of bread and butter. What my friend calls bills work. You have bills work and thrills work when you run your own business, right? So that was definitely bills work to begin with. And over the course of setting up the business, trying to work out what I wanted to do, my company has got CTD in the name. It's Securitas CTD. And the CTD stands for Consulting, Training and Development, because I didn't want to, cut myself off from any avenues. And I really didn't know what was going to be of most interest. So I tried to sort of dabble in lots of different things, which for anybody who knows how tough it can be to force yourself to niche down, will understand where I'm coming from with that. But during the course of that first year, I looked into online courses predominantly for myself. So I was qualified as a coach, qualified as a trainer. I was a facilitator, very experienced facilitator. And I thought, well, this would be good. I could put on some online courses and get some passive income and blah, blah, blah. And this was back in 2015, so relatively early days of people understanding that they could create their own online courses and make money out of it. So I was doing all of this research, and it didn't take long to realize that the majority of information that was out there was quite rudimentary when it came to putting your course together, but was very heavily skewed towards you can make X millions. So much stuff out there about how much money you can make with online courses. I couldn't find anything really, certainly nothing decent, that would instruct me on how best to create something that was both effective and engaging. Because as a trainer, I want learners to walk away with actual things that they can now do, as opposed to having paid money for something and gone, yeah, it's all right. For me, the joy was the transformation, seeing people go from I don't know how to do this thing to being able to do it themselves, whatever that thing was. So I thought, right, okay, well, there must be some kind of best practice for online courses. There must be something out there. And really not very much at all. So I did about 6 months of deep dive research, which was handy. I'm coming from a research planning insight background. Doing the research was quite a lot of fun and really didn't consume me too much, but it enabled me to put together my very first list of best practices for online course creation. And it was very centered around understanding how to create something that A, people would be interested in buying, but B, would also get a level of transformation from. All of that work was only for me at that point. And then one of the memberships that I was in for trainers, somebody asked a question in the group one day, does anybody know anything about online courses? So I popped up and said, well, yeah, I've been doing some research for myself. Shall I put on a webinar and, let you know what I found so far kind of thing? And that was really the start of it. Lots of people turned up. They liked my style. They liked the way I was putting the information across and how I was explaining it to them. And I thought, well, hang on. Actually, this was a lot of fun. And you know what? This was more fun than anything else I've done up until this point, running my own business. So maybe there's something in there. So I created my very first course, which ended up on Udemy, because that's where I started, which was all about helping people understand the process of creating an effective and engaging online course. And yeah, there was everything in there from how to decide what you're going to talk about, through to getting your filming done, all the tech bits, that kind of thing, all the marketing, but actually also how to structure a course in a way that would encourage people to continue participating in it, and also give them what they needed to be able to have the tools to go off and create their own courses. Yeah, so from that time, really, I had a conversation with one of my business mentors and said, I'm not interested in doing corporate work anymore, as in going in and training corporate organizations, because I was offering the usual stuff. There are so many management, leadership, communication trainers out there. It's, potluck as to whether or not you get somebody good. But it didn't really light a fire for me. Whereas helping people to create things themselves that could help them in their business was really something that I got into. So in conversation with a business mentor of mine, she and I together sort of threw around a few ideas, and Get That Course Online was born.
Mm.
And since Get That Course Online, everything's sort of spiraled out from there. When I was talking to people about online courses, they wanted to talk about websites. And I'd been doing websites since I started my business for myself and for a couple of other people that I knew, but I'd never really talked about it. So I thought, well, if I've got Get That Course Online, I should have Get That Website Online as well. And if I've got Get That Website Online and Get That Course Online, I should probably have Get That Video Online, because creating videos is integral to creating online courses, and other videos people need for their websites, like promotional videos and explainer videos and sales page videos. So perhaps we should have Get That Video Online as well. And you can see where this is going. It kind of grew from there, and I now have the Get
An
That,
empire.
which has got all of the Get That's underneath it, some of which are more active than others. And it's just really a reflection of, again, my particular desire to not get stuck doing one thing all the time for too long. And also because these are the things that people have asked me about. So, there's Get That video online, as I said. I've got Get That Funnel online. I've got Get That Marketing online.
Wow.
Get That Brand online. Get That Book online. Get That Mindset online. And there are various different bits that I do for each of them.
Yeah.
Get That Course Online was the one that started it all, and that's the one that I've written the book for.
That was the one that got the ball rolling.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And it's my baby. It's my passion. It's the one that I can talk for hours on, as you'll soon discover.
That's
And
fine. It makes my job easier.
and so yeah, so it was one of those things that just it all came together at the right time. It was very organic growth. And when I started my business, I had no idea that this would be where I end up.
Mm.
And one of the most exciting things that I'm working on at the moment is creating a directory of online course creation experts. So people
Ah,
are
yeah.
in the business of helping other people create online courses. Because for anybody who wants to have some help in whatever aspect of online course creation, they either have the sort of the big all-encompassing stuff that I do, or they go on to somewhere like Fiverr, Upwork, People Per Hour, and they have to take their chance with all these freelancers out here that are going, yeah, I can do that for you. Yeah, I can do that for you. And it's a race
Mm.
to the bottom in terms of quality and price. And what I really want to do is to have a trusted directory of experts in different fields,
Mm.
only 10 experts in each category, so that people can come to one place, find the help they need, but find it from people who really do know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so yes, I'm working on that at the moment. It's called Digital Course Doctors. So coming
Good
to,
idea. It's a
yeah,
good idea, actually.
website near you soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone comes to you and wants help with an online course, what is the first thing that you discuss and work with
Yeah.
them on?
So what usually happens is people will have already decided what they want to create their course about. And this is usually a bit of a recipe for disaster. And the reason for this is not because people, don't know what they're talking about, or because they don't have knowledge in a particular subject, but because they are uh, too knowledgeable. They have the curse of knowledge about what they know and what will best help people, but they don't understand that the very, very first place to start is to understand what is it people are looking for. Because if you don't create something that people are actively looking for, then you're going to have such a hard time trying to get it in front of people, or getting eyes on it, or getting people to even consider it. An example that I sometimes use is to help people understand the importance of language when you are naming your online course and deciding what your topic should be. So, for example, I would call myself a trainer. I am in a group of other trainers. I'm still in that membership. And we would understand if somebody referred to us as a tutor or a teacher, but it's not quite the right word. So
Mm,
if I were to put an online course creation guide for tutors together, all of those trainers would pass it by because they don't consider themselves to be a tutor. Even though technically you could argue a tutor, a trainer, and a teacher all do the same thing. It's information exchange,
yeah.
and knowledge sharing. And so it's just trying to help people get back to the basics of, right, who is your audience? What are they looking for? What transformation are they looking for? What are their challenges? So people talk about pain points a lot, and there's a reason, because that's the most important thing. As human beings, we are all looking at any of the marketing messages in front of us and going, "Mm, it's all well and good, but what's in it for me?" So if you can find something that people in your audience are already searching for, then it becomes the easiest thing in the world to create something that answers that problem and says, hey, you're looking for a solution to X. I've got it over here. Uh,
Is there an ideal length of course? As
oh,
in, because we talk about transformation, and that
yeah.
can take maybe quite a while in some subjects.
So here's the thing. Two things, actually. The first one is you absolutely positively do not want to make your course any longer than, I would say, a couple of hours, probably less than that. An hour long is about right. And within that, each of the videos need to be 5 minutes or less. So each
Mm,
lesson, one video, one lesson, 5 minutes or less. And there's a very, very good reason for that. And the design of an online course is very different to designing either virtual live training or face-to-face training. It's because you're asking somebody to basically sit down and watch something for however long it is. And I don't know about you, but I can't think of anything worse than somebody saying, oh, yes, just watch these 20 hours of videos and you'll be able to, create your own drawing in Canva or something. It shouldn't take that long. It really shouldn't. So if you're finding that your online course is running to anything longer than an hour and a half, 2 hours, the subject's too big. It's just too big. And you're actually cutting your nose off to spite your face because it's a harder ask to try and sell something that is that long because, again, people get put off by the lengths. We as human beings want to have something that's quick and easy. Even if we know, deep down, we know it's not going to be quick and easy. We want it to, at least at the beginning, feel like it's going to be quick and easy. And
mm,
that's certainly something that draws people in. In terms of ideal length, it's going to depend on your transformation, but I do encourage people to break down all the possible information that they could include and to see whether or not actually is it a 1, 2, 3 thing. Can you do one course and then sell people onto level 2 and then sell them onto level 3? Not only is that better business for you, it's also easier for people to take the information in those small bite-sized chunks. So whilst there isn't an ideal length of online course, it can be 5 minutes. If it delivers a transformation, then great. Got
mm,
no problem with that at all. People can get hung up on, but that video is only 30 seconds. Well, how much really good information is contained in that 30 seconds? Does it potentially change something for somebody? And if the answer is yes, well, then that's all it needs to be. You don't need to pad it out at all. Yeah, I would say there's no such thing as an ideal length, but you do need to think about the transformation you're promising and just how much information needs to go into that.
yeah.
Conversely, with trainers, the biggest problem is stopping them, not padding out, but trying to include too much information. And there's a very good reason for that. It's because as trainers, they are very used to standing in front of a group of people, and any question that gets thrown at them that is even broadly connected to the subject matter, they will have some kind of answer for. Even if the answer is, I'm not quite sure, let's look it up. Very, very rare for that to happen. So you get a trainer standing in front of a group of people talking about a particular subject area, let's say communication. What they're actually delivering with PowerPoint slides or anything like that is only one aspect of a much broader subject. So if somebody throws a question at them, they're able to usually answer those questions, certainly if they know what they're talking about. The problem that creates when you're thinking about creating an online course is that as you're sitting there thinking, right, what shall I include? What shall I talk about? All the what if questions come into their heads. And they go, oh, but what if they ask about this? What if they ask about that? Oh, and I've talked about that thing. And that really is a whole course in itself. I better include that information. And pretty soon it becomes massively bloated. And people end up with 20 hours to learn how to create a graphic in Canva. So that's another process that I take people through, is how do you make sure you stay focused on what it is you're producing and the transformation you're promising, and slim down all the extraneous material that people don't need, or you can direct them to other resources if they want a deep dive on that particular bit.
Just make it more focused.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's one of the things that I did when I did the companion. There we are. Have to remember how to point to it.
Oh, yes, yes.
When I did the companion course that goes with the book. So you can read the book, you can take the online course. The online course itself, I have very deliberately designed so that it offers a sort of a fast track and a deep dive. So every single lesson has a fast track video, which is essentially just explaining this is what this bit is. And then the deep dive video is that how to do that. Because what I've found with the people that I've worked with is that some of them will know very well some of the bits of the creation process. They don't need to wade through a video showing them how to do that. What they need is the video that shows them how to do the thing they don't know how to do yet. So
Yeah.
when somebody takes my online course about creating online courses, if they know about a subject, they get a 5-minute or less video explaining this is what this bit is, so they can check that they're thinking about the right thing. And if they get to something where they think, actually, I do need a bit more information about that, there's a second set of video or videos which will explain how to achieve the step that we're talking about in the creation process. And I don't know, as of today, I've not seen any other online courses created in that way that give that
Mm,
consideration for people who already have some knowledge. Because again, that's a way that turns people off with online course creation. If you're telling them something they already know, their brain will go, oh yeah, I know about this, and switch off,
yeah.
start, staring into the distance or thinking about lunch or whatever it might be, and you've lost them. So you have to make sure that you are creating in a way that holds people's attention for as long as possible, but also makes it nice and easy for them to go back and check stuff if they sort of get to the end of the course and go, just want to refresh myself on that particular thing. You don't want them having to try and wade through hours and hours of content just to find that one nugget of information. So another reason for having shorter videos as well.
Yeah.
I'll answer
Yeah.
the question. This is what I mean. You see, you set me off and running. I'll just go.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you have any recommended tools to create online courses?
Yes. So a lot of people get caught up in the tech that they think they need, and it is possible to create an online course with your phone, right? If you've got a smartphone, you can absolutely do it that way. It's not the easiest way to do it, but for most people, it wouldn't require any additional outlay. But the sorts of things that you do need to think about are having some sort of way of collating your information, a way of recording it, a way of probably editing it. And again, you can do that with free tools. You then need somewhere for it to live. So, somewhere to send people who want to take your online course. And then you probably want some kind of payment mechanism, unless you're creating something that is a freebie. Maybe it's a lead magnet, something like that. So you don't have to worry about the payment mechanism for that. There are other bells and whistles and other peripheral bits and pieces that you can think about. But if somebody does have a bit of budget and they want to invest in some tech, then I would strongly suggest that the first place they start is by getting an external microphone. The reason for this is that when we are watching a video, we are slightly more forgiving of a jarring, juddering video, or something that's, maybe it's not a great background or it's very busy or whatever. We are slightly more forgiving of that than we are of poor audio. And
Mm,
pretty much every single built-in microphone to a laptop or a phone or a computer is never going to be as good quality as an external microphone. And you can pick a decent one, USB, plug and play, for 50, 60, 70 quid.
like lapel mic.
You can get those as well, absolutely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
whatever works for you, for your budget and all the rest of it. I'm a big fan of the company called Blue, and they make the Yeti and the Yeti Snowball microphones. And I've had my Snowball. I wonder if I can show it without. There we go. You
Oh
can
yes, yeah.
see it.
Oh, with the pop
She
filter.
looks like a snowball. But it's cardioid. Oh, hello. Cardioid microphone, which essentially means that it is designed to pick up what is spoken into it and to try and cut out any noise that happens behind it.
Like a heart, isn't it? Heart shaped
Yeah, it can be.
kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
field.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So microphone is the first place to start. The second place to invest if you want to is if you're recording on your computer is a webcam. Part of the reason for this is that a lot of people use the inbuilt webcam on their laptop. Which is fine until you get to the point of recording. You put your laptop where you normally sit and work, and then you look into the camera and you da da da, and pretty soon you realize when you look at the videos on the playback, you're actually looking down into the microphone. And this is really not a great angle
Mm.
for anybody to watch you when you're creating or when you're presenting information, assuming that you want to be on camera. That's a whole
Yeah.
other conversation, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
assume you do, and I would certainly recommend, even if you're not on camera throughout your course, do it for the first and the last video, because you want to give people a face to a name, to a voice, and also you want to congratulate people at the end. So even if you hate being on camera, twice is all you need to do to really elevate your online course. But if you have a camera angle that is something that you're looking down into, it feels like you're looming over the person. So you're coming out of the video and it looks like you're looming at them, and they can see up
Mm.
your nose, which, frankly, nobody needs.
Not very pleasant.
No, right? Whereas if you have a separate webcam or lift your laptop up, what you want is for your camera to be either at eye level or you to be looking slightly up into it. It's just a more pleasant angle for people to watch. And it
Mm.
creates a more professional image, and it's so easily achieved and much easier if you work on a big rig, so I call it, which is a separate hard drive and monitor and keyboard and what have you. It's much easier to then place the camera where it's going to be best for you. You don't have to buy a separate video camera or anything like that. I happen to have one, but that's, because I've built these bits and pieces up over a period of time. The third thing to think about if you are going to be on camera is your lighting. Now, most people will have a nice window somewhere in their home or wherever it is they're choosing to record. And what we need to remember with that is that your strongest source of light is usually going to be sunlight, even on a grey, cloudy day like it is today. This is my strongest source of light. So you can see the light shining on me at the moment.
Mm.
The problem with that is on a sunny day with some clouds, as soon as the cloud goes across the sun, it can cause a shadow on your face, right? So what I do is I actually have a blackout screen and I have separate lighting. So I have ring lights all over the place. I've got tiny, tiny little ones like this, which are actually designed to clip on your phone. And these give out pretty decent light. This one might have run out. It has run out. Let's see if this one's working. They don't last very long. Yeah, there we go. So you can see instantly the extra light that that's giving me. So
Yeah, yeah.
what a lot of people make the mistake of doing is they will either have the window at the side. I can't really do it, but you can see this side of my face is in more shadow. Or they'll have a light, but they'll put it right in front of their face like this, so it blows out. So
Like horror movie.
you need to find the right distance, the
Yeah.
right
Yeah, my side is a bit dark, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look too bad when you're recording on Zoom like this, but actually when you do the playback, when you come to edit your video, you will see how much difference it makes, and it makes quite
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. And
Yeah.
these, pack of two, with different light intensity, so I can have warm and I choose the sort of the peachy color because it works better for me and for the angles that I've got and the lighting that I've got. And switch that off because that will run out soon. Just making sure that you've got something that is equally lighting the size of your face. Those of
Mm.
us that wear glasses also have to think about reflection on our faces as well. So again, demo time. See, you get so much value from this. If I
That's right.
have the light over here, can you see it reflecting in my glasses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that can be quite off-putting for people, especially if you get it exactly where your eyeballs are, like that. So although it's giving good light, it's not working very well with the glasses. The simple trick for that is to have one light either side of you. Oh, you want it off screen, but it will. You can see the difference that that makes there and
Yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah.
It will make a difference. You have to experiment because it's all dependent on where you're filming and what else is going on. So those are the three sort of
Mhm.
initial things that I would recommend people look at. You can get video recording and editing tools. You can get free ones. They won't give you a huge amount of play in what you're doing. But if you're looking for a budget option, then I point lots of people in the direction of something called ScreenPal. It used to be called
Mm.
Screencast-O-Matic. Terrible name, probably why they
I think I've
changed.
heard of that.
Yeah,
Screencast-O-Matic.
yeah, so Screencast-O-Matic changed their name to ScreenPal. Get this, 1 month after I published my book talking about Screencast-O-Matic. So thanks for that. The PDF edition was quickly changed, but the print version still has. I think I updated that in Amazon, but yeah. So that's about $40-ish, $50 a year, and you
A
get
year, that's not
access.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really good, really,
yeah.
really. If you start getting more serious about what you're doing and you know that you're going to be recording a lot of videos and you want to start getting a little bit more polished with your editing and what you add in and all those different sorts of bits and pieces, my go-to is a tool called Camtasia from a company called TechSmith. Very, very good on PCs. If you use a Mac, it has got a Mac version, but I do know quite a few Mac users that have found that it can get a little bit buggy. So they tend to use something called ScreenFlow. So not to be confused
Yeah.
with ScreenPal. So ScreenFlow is specifically built for Macs. Similar sort of price range. I have heard this morning somebody who managed to get a copy of Camtasia for 80 something pounds, which is unheard of. It's normally a couple of hundred.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's like the Rolls Royce, isn't it, of
it
screen recording?
well, not really. I mean, it's your sort of your high end saloon road car, your Rolls Royce, your real, top notch version is going to be something like Adobe Premiere Pro, or something like.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I used to have access to that, and I tried to learn it, but I kept going back to Camtasia because I knew it so well. And really, the level of what I want to produce is really Camtasia is ideal for it, and I use it so much. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to invest in all of these things in one go. You just have to. You can build it up over a period of time. So now I've got a couple of mics. I've got a Rode mic for out and about. I've got a lapel mic. I've got different bits and pieces, but I didn't have them all from the beginning. From the
Mm.
beginning, I was doing exactly what I've told everyone listening to this not to do, which is stare down into a laptop. And then I saw the angle and thought, well, that's not good. How can I change this?
So I know
Um,
you say that you just get it done.
mhm,
Don't go for perfection
mhm.
to start with. Just
Done
do
is
it.
better than perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. There are another one of my sayings specifically about this is only fossils are set in stone. There are so
Yes.
many decision points, choice points that you get to with online course creation. This is what stifles a lot of people and stops them from actually seeing the whole thing through and ending up producing a course, is because they get to a decision point and they can't decide which direction to go. And I would say go where your budget and your time will allow. And don't worry about it beyond that, because you can always go back and change your mind later. So I didn't start with Camtasia. I didn't start with my webcam or this microphone. And I certainly didn't start with my understanding of how to create online courses or how to speak in front of a camera, how to be comfortable on camera. I didn't start that way. I had to learn it and build it up over a period of time. And it's very easy sometimes to look at people who have produced courses or look at courses and go, oh, I could never do something like that. Well, yes, you can, but probably not for your first one. So
Mm.
one of the other things I say to people as well is your first will be your worst. Doesn't mean it won't be any good. And certainly if you follow my methodology in the book or through the course or any other means of getting hold of the way that I would suggest is the best way to create an online course, it's not going to be bad output. It's just that it will be your worst because you've never done it before. right? So even the process of learning how to create an online course will give you so much learning as to what you're going to do differently the next time and the next time and the next time. And you build up from there. It's like any new skill. You have to give yourself a little bit of leeway to just get it done and out there. Otherwise, you will end up in a horrible cycle of either perfectionism or analysis paralysis. So
Yes. Yeah, that's deadly. So you've got your course. Now the next thing is, or one of the questions you have for your course is how much do you charge for the course?
yes. So this is by far the most asked question of online course creators or by online course creators, right? There are all sorts of statistics to back it up. And in my book, if you go to the page on pricing, the chapter on pricing, one of the first things I say is my bet is that a number of people will have picked up the book and gone straight to that page. And I've had fair few people come back to me and go, "Oh, rumbled. Yep, that was the first chapter I went to. Was how do I price my course?" So there's a couple of things to understand with this. The very first thing to understand, and if you don't understand this, then the rest of it is kind of moot. There is absolutely, positively, 100% no formula for the pricing of online courses. None. Every single person that has put a price on an online course has made it up, right? They have thought of a price and gone, yeah, that feels about right. And that's the price the course is. So you will see online courses ranging from free through to many thousands, whether that's dollars, pounds, whatever, and everything in between. Now, I do give some guidance in the book, which talks about, okay, think about the level of transformation, then think about what that's worth to the
Mm,
people that you are trying to appeal to, and then pick something that feels right. I've had a little bit of fun with this in training sessions as well. I said, aha, the formula for creating your price for your online course is to think of a number, times it by orange, and then multiply it by toast. That's about as technical as it gets, right? There's
I'll make a note of that.
yeah, there's really no formula stuff. Everybody, me included, we make it up, right? We pick the number that we think is about right for what we're offering and what we're comfortable with, which is why, places like Udemy, which is a marketplace selling courses as a commodity, and is only interested in the turnover of people through the platform rather than the quality necessarily of the courses that are on there. That's why you'll see courses being sold for originally $9.99. Now I think it's $14, $15.99, something like that. So
Mm,
it actually devalues the amount of effort that somebody has put into it. But equally, there are courses that go for many thousands, and people will pay that money. A lot of it off the back of the reputation, the brand that's been built up. It would be unusual for a new player in the market to be able to create an online course for more than £1,000, $1,000, whatever,
mm.
and actually get lots of people on it. So all of these stories about, oh, here's my $3 million launch and you can take the blueprint and do exactly the same. No, you won't. Not unless you've got the brand equity and you've got the audience numbers already waiting to hear from you. There is no way you're going to have a launch that size. So when it comes to pricing, and there are all sorts of calculations that people do going, oh, this way to 10K months and 100K months and all £1 million a year, and you only have to make 83,000 a month and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's true. Those calculations are correct, but it's kind of glossing over the most important thing, which is actually having the people that want to buy it from you in the first place, which kind of brings us full circle back to make sure you're creating something that people actually want, and then you've got half a chance of being
Yeah.
able to sell in the sort of volume that will make people happy with the level of passive, in inverted commas, income that they get.
And is there any role for AI in course creation?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. What I would say is that there are huge numbers, obviously, particularly this year and a lot of last year, of people selling courses on how to create a course through AI, and isn't it quick and isn't it easy? Yeah, you can absolutely go down that path, but this will balance itself out in the marketplace. So people will become very tired of courses that are very obviously produced by AI and AI alone. These are the get rich quick end of things. If you have any kind of concern or care for the information that people are taking on board, then you will not create a course purely through AI and not really be very cognizant of what's gone into it. Where AI can be really, really helpful is as a sort of a sounding board, as a way of generating some ideas. People very often struggle with what I call blank sheet of paper syndrome. So you sort of sit down and go, yes, I want to do this course and I've got so many ideas. And then they stare at a blank sheet of paper or a blank document and think, right, where do I start? I don't know where to start. AI can be very helpful in helping you to collate your thoughts into some kind of order and something that might make sense and how you might want to think about it. It can help you with gap filling, all those sorts of things. I've created a custom GPT. I get confused with that because my initials are GT, so I have to think about it. GPT, custom GPT in chat, which will from, I think the maximum number of questions is 10, but actually I can get there in 4. You can put in your idea for a course and your pain points, your customers' pain points, and those sorts of things, and it will give you your title, your transformation, and the entire course structure. Now, word of warning with that, you can't just take that and go, right, I'm off filming then. You do need to go
Mm.
through it and make sure, with all the usual caveats for anything generated by AI, to make sure that it is presenting things in a logical order and in a way that will make sense to your learners, which again is why it always has to come back to who are the people you're trying to appeal to, what's their challenge, what's the language they're using around that challenge, how do they approach it, how have they approached trying to get over this challenge, why is it still a challenge even though there are so many resources out there. Pretty much everything you could ever need to know about anything is on the internet somewhere. So if that's the case, why are people still facing a challenge with something?
Mm.
There shouldn't be any challenges anywhere because we've got all the answers to everything, right? And of course, the answer to that is that people don't have time to research everything. People don't know how to research everything. They get tired of collating information. What they actually want is for somebody to present the answer to them, almost on a plate, but in a way that makes them feel like they have built up their knowledge, the way they feel like they get a sense of accomplishment from going from, I don't know how to do this thing, to now I do know how to do this thing. So AI is a great helper. It's a really good sounding board. I use it extensively for the stuff that I do, but I use it as sort of it's a bit like a second me. So I've trained it up to think a little bit like me, but to talk like me, to understand where I'm coming from. For my purposes, I've uploaded a copy of the book into my chat so that it knows my tone, my style, how I want to put things across, what I do agree with online course creation,
Mm.
and what I don't agree with online course creation. And it still gets it a little bit wrong every now and again, but for the most part, it is very helpful to sort of help me to clarify what I'm thinking about and to look at things in a way that will be from the point of view of the people I'm trying to appeal to.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the interview now. Um, so we're going to do a crunching gear change
Okay.
and just going to ask you some what I call smash hits type
Well,
questions.
okay. I'm
So
ready.
they're really important questions. So what are your favorite color of sock?
Right. I have some amazing socks. I'm wearing them right now. They're double layered and they are a turquoise blue and they are fabulous for dog walking. So turquoise blue. There you go.
Turquoise blue. That sounds good. That sounds good. What was the first record you ever bought?
Pass the Duchy by Musical Youth.
Thanks for confessing that.
Yeah, no worries.
It's a great song, actually.
It is a great
Yeah,
song.
it's a great
First
song.
one I bought, I think I have been bought like the Wombles and Grease and stuff like that, but the one that I bought with my own pocket money was Pass the Duchy.
It must, yeah. So it must have been good.
I think so.
What, what is your when you have a coffee? What sort of coffee do you Do you
Well,
order from Starbucks or Costa?
I don't. I'm not a coffee drinker, but coffee and walnut cake is my favorite cake. I love coffee revels. But typically I don't drink coffee. I have had Irish coffee in my time, but normal coffee, no.
No, just not a coffee person. Not a coffee person. Now, what apart from your own book,
Mhm.
what is your favorite book?
Um, for fiction, I will go for anything by Terry Pratchett. Full stop. Hands down. Discworld series, love it. And all his other writings and what have you as well. Really, really enjoyed that. In terms of a business book, I've got a few on my shelf, but ones that I keep referring back to are things like Preferences by, oh, crikey, I've forgotten her name, Gretchen Rubin. I have done a fair amount of work with personality profiling tools, and I'm pretty familiar with a lot of them. This isn't quite that. And when I approached this book, I was reading it from the point of view of, oh God, here we go, another personality profiling tool that tries to slot people into one of four categories. And she actually addresses that really early on in the book. It's called The Four Preferences, and it helps you to understand people's natural reaction to goals and targets and to instructions and orders and that kind of thing. And through that, I have discovered why I am the sort of person that keeps needing the answer to the question why. So if somebody asks me to do something, I may or may not be able to do it, but if they don't tell me why they want me to do it and what the purpose is and what the outcome is, then I'm much more resistant to that. So it's helping you understand yourself and others in terms of why you might be resistant to certain instructions, rules, even objectives that you set yourself. There are particular preferences where if you set yourself an objective, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to achieve it. Set yourself a goal, no guarantee you're going to achieve it just because of the way that your brain is wired for approaching these things. And it's really fascinating, actually. So
Mm.
I think if you are interested in human psychology, but a little bit bored of personality profiling tools, that's definitely a good one to read. And I mean, there are loads. There are so many books. I have to say, one that I would go back and listen to again and again, because I do a lot of audiobook listening, is Gay Hendricks' The Big Leap. Great book, really great book.
Mm.
He narrates the first one in the series, and he just sounds like a really lovely grandpa. So it's just, you're listening to it going, oh, he sounds so nice. So,
Audiobooks are great, aren't they?
yeah, really good. I listen to them on the usually the lunchtime dog walk. And it's a great way. Though those that impress me enough end up on the shelf behind me.
And finally, your favorite quote of all
So yeah, I mean, there are lots, and I've mentioned a couple of my own, but
time.
actually, what stands out the most is actually on my cup, my teacup. Take action, make it happen. Only way that something's going to happen is if you take action, right? So,
It's a
yeah.
sound philosophy,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right.
Okay, so so in terms of people contacting you,
Mm-hmm.
so someone wants to use your services,
Yes.
they've got an online course they want to create.
Yep.
How do they contact you? What's the first step?
Well, as you might imagine, for somebody that is also involved in websites and domain names and all sorts, I have 1,000,001 email addresses. Probably the easiest one to remember in terms of online course creation is gt@getthatcourseonline.com. It's that simple.
I'll
Uh,
put those in the notes below the video.
yeah, yeah, great.
Great, great. And can people connect with you on LinkedIn and
Yes. Yeah, so
Facebook and so forth?
unbelievably, there is more than one Ginette Tessier. I know.
That's unusual.
So my LinkedIn is Ginette Tessier 1. If you go to linkedin.com/in/Ginette Tessier 1.
Brilliant, brilliant. It's been great having you.
My
Really,
pleasure.
really interesting and educational content, I have to say.
Like I say,
I've learned some things, and I'm sure people who watch this will learn a lot as well. So I
oh,
really appreciate your time, taking the time and kind of giving us your nuggets
no
of
problem
wisdom.
at all. My pleasure.